Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. A brutal and deadly act of terrorism in London Wednesday. Two men with butcher knives shouting Allahu Akbar hacked a British soldier to death outside army barracks. They claimed it's revenge for Muslims' deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan. After the attack, one of the men told a bystander, "We swear by Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you." Dale Hurd has more.
The victim was a British soldier, seen by eyewitnesses walking near his barracks. First, the attackers ran over him with a car. Then they savagely stabbed him with knives.
The guy was already dead in the road, but then that's when I saw the other guy with the axe and the gun. And then after that, I was looking at for about 20 minutes before the police came.
Equally shocking, the attackers did not flee, approaching confused bystanders with their bloody hands to deliver a message.
I know that Londoners have been through terrorism before, and this city has a huge resilience. What we also have is the best, the most professional security services and the best police in the world to protect us, and they are now going to get to the bottom of exactly what has happened.
The killers called the attack an eye for an eye, accusing British soldiers of killing Muslims overseas. Police shot and wounded both men, who were later taken to nearby hospitals. British officials called the incident an act of terrorism and immediately increased security at all of London's military bases.
Despicable acts like these will not go unpunished.
But right-wing nationalists from the English Defence League quickly staged a protest and clashed with police.
Enough's enough. Our message is enough. We have weak leaders, weak police. Our police and our leaders tiptoe around this issue. This issue is political Islam. It's political Islam that's spreading across this country.
London Mayor Boris Johnson urged the people of the city to remain calm, calling the attack a one-time incident. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
A man with ties to one of the suspects in the Boston Marathon bombing case was killed in a shootout with the FBI. 27-year-old Ibrahim Tadashev of Orlando, Florida, was under investigation about his relationship with bombing suspect Tamerlan Tsarnaev. Police were questioning him in the apartment complex where he lived. In a statement, the FBI said their agent opened fire after Tadashev came at the agent with a knife. Tadashev was reportedly an acquaintance of Tsarnaev, who was killed in a shootout with police days after the April 15th bombings. The two men allegedly knew each other through mixed martial arts fighting.
Back when he used to live in Boston, right, they used to hang out. Not hang out, he knew him because he was an MMA fighter. Yeah, the other guy was boxer.
Tadashev had been arrested earlier this month on a charge of aggravated battery after getting into a fight with two men over a parking space.
The first of many funerals is taking place today in the aftermath of the massive tornado in Moore, Oklahoma. 9-year-old Antonia Candelaria is being laid to rest. She is one of 7 children who died at a destroyed elementary school. Meanwhile, the first damage estimates from the tornado are coming in. The Oklahoma Insurance Department says the financial cost could top $2 billion. The storm was on the ground for about 40 minutes as it struck more than 12,000 homes. The National Weather Service says the Moore tornado was an extremely rare EF5 with winds of more than 200 miles an hour. Only 1 or 2% of tornadoes reach that size.
As thousands of residents face the reality of starting over, many say Oklahoma's spirit is what keeps them strong. It's a mentality marked by neighbor helping neighbor, and nowhere is it more alive than in the city of Moore. As John Jessup reports, the tragedy is bringing out the best in people both near and far.
For many in the tight-knit community of Moore,
I've only seen one thing, or know of one thing that's 100%, and that was Jesus Christ.
Telling where they were when the tornado hit is like therapy. Lester Staley shows us the storm shelter behind his house of more than 20 years. He called his wife from work and told her to take cover.
10 or 15 seconds later, I heard the train coming in. And then I heard kaboom!
Lester knew exactly what happened. The old elm tree in his backyard crushed the shelter's concrete top. What he didn't know was whether his wife was dead or alive.
What was going through your mind when you heard that kaboom?
Am I going to be able to talk to my wife of 39 years?
Wanda, his wife, says the fact that she's alive is nothing short of a miracle.
A lot of people don't believe in miracles, but
no, thank you.
I do, and I always have.
Standing on a street like this, you begin to see just how indiscriminate the tornado was. This house is completely leveled, but if you look right across the street, the structure is still standing. But the one thing these scenes have in common is that they're bringing people together.
David Molyneux lives a few blocks away.
Less than 500 feet, and we could have had nothing.
He's never met the Staleys, but since his home and family are okay, he felt the need to help in spite of his own personal hardship.
I have no work right now. I was laid off from my job Friday, so I've got nothing but time on my hands.
David is just one of the many volunteers with Operation Blessing, which is on the ground offering disaster relief in the form of food, labor, and prayer. Operation Blessing has teamed up with Highland Baptist Church. Its pastor watched as the tornado spiraled toward the church and turned at the last minute. He believes it was spared for a reason.
It's just a God thing. Part of the reason for that is so that we might be here and be a hub and just be able to love on people.
And for those receiving their help, it means the world. John Jessup, CBN News, Moore, Oklahoma.
The American Center for Law and Justice says the IRS is still harassing conservative groups despite White House claims the misconduct ended a year ago. The ACLJ represents 27 Tea Party organizations unlawfully targeted by the Internal Revenue Service. 18 of them received IRS questionnaires during the past year. The last came just days before the IRS revealed its scheme. The ACLJ's Jay Sekulow said this White House continues to try and create a narrative that simply does not square at the facts. Without question, the IRS misconduct of harassing and abusing our clients was still in high gear from May 2012 through May of this year.
Outrage from lawmakers on that IRS scandal Wednesday. The official at the center of the IRS controversy refusing to answer questions at a congressional hearing. Now Republicans are threatening to recall her again to testify. Heather Sells reports.
Lois Lerner, the head of the IRS division that targeted conservative groups, is taking the fifth.
I have not done anything wrong. I've been advised by my counsel to assert my constitutional right not to testify.
In a letter to the House Oversight Committee, Lerner's attorney says his client wouldn't testify because of a criminal investigation by the Justice Department. Lerner was the first person to go public with the IRS controversy. Lawmakers were furious that she would tell her side of the story and then refused to be cross-examined.
She waived her right to Fifth Amendment privilege by issuing an opening statement. She ought to stand here and answer our questions.
If this committee is prevented by obstruction or by refusal to answer, you will leave us no alternative but to ask for the appointment of a special prosecutor or appointment to special counsel to get to the bottom of this.
Lerner was subpoenaed by House Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa. He says she lied to Congress last year by not informing lawmakers then that conservative groups were being targeted.
Congress was misled. The American people were misled.
The former commissioner of the IRS also appeared before Congress. He stressed that political partisanship was not involved.
Utilizing a list with keywords is, in my view, inappropriate and damaging.
Lawmakers from both parties criticized IRS officials at the hearing. Democrats cautioned against the scandal becoming politicized. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Republicans say they will continue investigating the issue until they know exactly what happened at the IRS.
Leaders of the Boy Scouts of America face a monumental decision today as they vote whether to allow openly gay scouts in its ranks. There are about 1,400 voting members. Many troops are sponsored by churches, and if the ban is lifted, some say they will lose support for their troop.
I think you'd see a mass exodus, not only of major denominations, but just of common sense parents saying, you know what, we can't trust scouting anymore. There's not that moral consistency throughout the program.
Now, today's vote comes after a massive political ground game that has lasted for months. And according to a Time magazine Swampland report, gay activists used former Obama campaign political strategists to target local councils where the vote would be close.
Turning overseas, Israel's Air Force chief warns Israel could be in for a surprise war. Tensions are increasing along the Israeli-Syrian border. Israeli Major General Amir Eshel says that the threat of a sudden war erupting on multiple fronts is becoming much more realistic. He pointed out today that Syria has invested in the best air defenses it could buy. That could embolden Syrian President Assad to do things he might not have done in the past. Eshel said if the regime collapses tomorrow, those weapons could be dispersed and pointed at Israel. And that means a surprise war could take many forms. Yesterday, Israel and Syria exchanged fire along their shared border.
Coming up, Courage, New Hampshire, a new TV series looks at colonial life before the Revolutionary War and what led to the fight for independence.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 U.S. gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
A miniseries depicting life before and during America's Revolutionary War is set to air on the INSP network on Memorial Day. Courage, New Hampshire explores our early history as a nation and the events that led to the break with Great Britain.
Earlier, CBN's Wendy Griffith spoke with the actor and producer James Riley about the show.
Tell us about the show Courage, New Hampshire and its characters.
Well, we wanted to tell a show about the period before the Revolution. You know, as John Adams said, the Revolution was really won in a way in the 10 years before the fighting began, because the hearts and the minds of people changed gradually over that time. So we thought a drama about life in New England or the colonies before the actual fighting started would be just a fun show to produce.
Absolutely. Well, why did you choose this time period to talk about in American history?
Well, if you look at the period 1770 to 1775, the fighting started, of course, in Lexington, 75. But you had a lot of events that occurred from the Stamp Act on to the Tea Party, and the people were basically deciding, where their loyalties were going to lie. So we thought that that's just a situation fraught with great potential drama.
Well, tell us about the ideals and the values that shaped America during this time.
Well, it was a very biblical culture. I think your audience is going to find it very interesting. I mean, even when they started a trial, they invoked the name of God, and they sometimes accused the defendant of being instigated by the devil. I mean, it was a very, very biblical culture. The first 15 pages of New Hampshire statutes are basically embroideries on the Ten Commandments.
Now, you say that you were born in the wrong century, James. What's behind your deep love of history?
Well, we run a living history farm out here in California. We perform Revolutionary War reenactments and Civil War reenactments for about 70,000 school kids a year. So we're involved in living history full time, and we've built buildings that are evocative of the 18th century. And we're history geeks. We love American history.
Well, I remember reading the book. I think it's called 1776. And it was fascinating. Just, I felt like a student all over again. Well, what would you like to communicate to viewers through this program?
Well, just that the sacrifices that went along. I mean, this was an age where, many families had 8 or 9 kids. They would lose them routinely, and they had sicknesses that took out whole towns. The deprivations, of course, of Valley Forge, Morristown are well known. The blood in the snow. These are people who sacrificed a great deal to protect the liberties, the God-given liberties that we have, and we feel that story needs to be told to every generation, and this is our part of doing it.
And again, what are the exact years that this miniseries will be capturing?
We start in the late winter of 1769, and our plans are to move all the way through the Revolution, and basically one season a year. So we're still negotiating for our second season, but we plan to go all the way through the Revolution if we can.
All right, sounds fascinating. The miniseries is called Courage, New Hampshire, and it airs on INSP this Memorial Day. James Raleigh, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Up next, an amazing phenomenon. More and more Muslims coming to Christ through dreams and visions.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans. with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right. You could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Dreaming dreams and seeing visions of Jesus. It's happening today, and not just among Christians.
Actually, across the Muslim world, men and women are coming to Christ because Jesus has appeared to them. Chris Mistral brings us this amazing story.
Hey guys, my name is Hazem.
Hazem Faraz hosts a satellite TV program for Muslims called Reflections. He says he hears from Muslims all the time who tell him they had a dream or vision of Jesus Christ that forever changed their lives.
I had one lady write me and said I had a nightmare, and she said I turned on the television and there you were. And she said, and the words that were coming out of your mouth were so peaceful, I fell asleep. And she said, and when I fell asleep, I ended up having a vision of Jesus. She said, I saw the Lord. She wasn't a believer. She said, I saw the Lord Jesus, and he was in a bright white robe. He pointed to a man who I knew in the dream was Abraham, and he was sacrificing Isaac. And she said, as soon as I looked over, I had known that Jesus was the Christ, sacrificed the Son of God.
Across the Muslim world, from Indonesia to Morocco, Muslim men and women are turning to faith in Jesus Christ in unprecedented numbers. For many, their conversions are not simply the result of missionaries or preachers sharing the gospel with them. Instead, these Muslims are coming to Christ because they've had dreams and visions where Jesus himself appears to them. Ali also met Jesus in a dream while on his way to Mecca for the Muslim pilgrimage called the Hajj.
Of course, when I went to Mecca, I was going there in order to pay homage to the Kaaba and to fulfill the requirements in Islam.
Ali's experience in Mecca is dramatized in this DVD called More Than Dreams.
But that night, I saw Jesus in a dream. First, Jesus touched my forehead with his finger. And after touching me, he said, "You belong to me." And then he touched me above my heart. "You have been saved. Follow me." "You belong to me," he said. So I decided, okay, I am not going to finish the Hajj, the pilgrimage. Whatever it takes, I am going to follow that voice.
The DVD tells of other Muslims who came to faith in Jesus through a dream or vision.
We're seeing that all around. We're hearing about people that have never even thought about Jesus as Savior. They're content Muslims, and they're having dreams over and over.
Tom Doyle serves in E3 Ministries. He and his wife Joanne share the gospel with Muslims. Doyle also wrote the recently released book, Dreams and Visions, Is Jesus Awakening the Muslim World?
I think our God is a fair God. He's righteous and just. People are seeking. They don't know where to go. Maybe they don't have a Bible. Maybe there's no missionary in the village. He'll get the message to them somehow.
This woman comes from a Central Asian country. Her identity is hidden for security reasons.
In the church, if you ask how people came to Christ, 80% will say they saw him in a dream.
A Christian friend challenged this woman to ask God to speak to her personally.
So I decided to ask him, and so I did. And then the next day, I guess, I saw a dream, and in my dream, I saw Jesus was a bridge. I decided to come to him.
Doyle says the dream or vision is usually the start, not the end of a Muslim's conversion.
You know, nobody goes to sleep, Chris, a Muslim and wakes up a Christian, but it knocks down the false barriers that are inherent in Islam. A couple of them are that we worship three gods, that the Bible's corrupted.
The Doyles say compared to the political storm sweeping the Middle East, this could be seen as a spiritual earthquake.
You know what? As things heat up politically and spiritually within Islam, man, the Holy Spirit's moving even more powerfully.
This is the time when hearts are open, people are desperate, governments are changing, everybody's foundation has massive cracks in it, and Jesus is the answer that can come in and fill that need.
Many veteran missionaries say these dreams and visions, combined with satellite television, are reaching Muslims in unprecedented numbers. They say more Muslims are coming to Jesus Christ than at any other time in the 1400-year history of Islam. The Doyles say believers in the West can join the spiritual revolution.
So yes, I think that, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And, we are committed, all of us as believers, we've got to reach those with the gospel of Christ.
Not everybody's going to go to the Middle East, but they can pray. And no government, no leader can block intercession around the world. That's one thing that can get into any country. So we need to pray as believers that God would continue to just push the gospel out to the ends of the earth.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
I met a former Muslim one time in Texas who also had a dream and a vision of Jesus and is now a Christian.
Powerful indeed.
Definitely.
Powerful. Stay with us. We are coming right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new Grip Go, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and Grip Go grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of Grip Go. You can get the amazing Grip Go with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete Grip Go systems for just $14.95.
To order Grip Go for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
You've never used Botox, right?
No, not yet.
Well, it is increasingly becoming a household name.
Indeed it is. Now it is not just for the middle-aged.
It's like getting a haircut. It makes you feel better.
Dermatologists say their clientele seems to be getting younger and younger. Believe it or not, of the 6 million Botox injections performed in 2012, almost 100,000 of those injections were patients in their 20s. There are even patients who are teenagers.
I have a lot of 27 and 28-year-olds, especially ex-tanners that smoke, that I do pretty consistently every 3 to 4 months.
Well, I had 1 or 2 wrinkles starting to come out, like on my forehead, but after the Botox, I didn't see it at all.
All right. Some doctors in Britain say they're starting to refuse patients under the age of 30. They say it is more important to inject girls with self-esteem. That is certainly a whole lot better than injecting them with Botox.
I'm trying to find the wrinkle on her face. I mean, she said she had 1 or 2.
I tell you.
Teenagers. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's going to do it for now on the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And join us again right here tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real Naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.